Dear teachers and colleagues, hello everyone. I'm Chenzhou Yanglei. My dissertation focuses on the teaching of traditional Chinese instrumental music and the preservation of Jinqiang music. Today, I would like to share my research differences in technique teaching method between the Erhu and Dahu. The differences in teaching Erhu and Dahu technicals, taking Jinqiang style music as an example. Exploring the differences in technical methods used in teaching Jinqiang style music, I hope it will provide insights for the teaching of traditional Chinese instrumental music and the preservation of Jinqiang culture. This paper is divided into 6 chapters. Chapter 1 is the introduction, which explains the research background, purpose, method, and the literature basis. Chapter 2 analyzes the instrumental characteristics of Erhu and Dahu and their functional constitution in Jinqiang. Chapter 3 explores the core technical requirements of Jinqiang style for the performance of the 2 instruments. Chapter 4 is the core chapter, which systematically compares the differences in technical teaching methods between Erhu and Dahu. Chapter 5 uses specific cases to empirically analyze the teaching path of the 2 instruments. Chapter 6 summarizes the research conclusions, puts forward teaching suggestions, and points out the research limitations and future directions. The core purpose of this study is to systematically sort out the core technical difference between the Erhu and Dahu when playing Jinqiang style music, and to deeply analyze the specific manifestations of these differences in teaching methods, including teaching concepts, training steps, and strategies for overcoming difficulties, and ultimately to construct a targeted teaching path. From a theoretical perspective, this study is the first to systematically compare the teaching method of Erhu and Dahu in the context of Jinqiang style, which will help deepen the understanding of the technical characteristics and teaching rules of the 2 instruments, fill the gap in cross-instrument style comparison in Wuqing teaching method research, and enrich the theoretical system of national instrumental teaching. From a practical perspective, the research findings can provide clear teaching guidelines for teachers. For our students, they emphasize how to achieve the charm of Jinqiang through delicate vibrato and glissando. For Dahu students, they emphasize high-pitched control and explosive power training. This will effectively improve the teaching quality of Jinqiang style music and help students more quickly grasp the characteristics of the instrument and the requirements of style. From the perspective of culture significance, this study inherits the core characteristics of Jinqiang music through Persia's technical teaching, which will help the younger generation of learners at deeply understanding the regional culture. Connotations of Jinqiang promote innovative development of this ancient opera in the contemporary era, and achieve the cultural inheritance goal of passing on art through skills and conveying the truth through art. This study employed a mixed research method, integrating qualitative and quantitative data. First, A literature review method systematically compared through CNKI and other databases on Erhu teaching and Xinqiang music, identifying key technicals and teaching perspectives. Second, a comparative analysis method compared differences between the two instruments in Xinqiang style teaching, focusing on instrumental characteristics, technique requirements, and teaching methods. Third, a case study method analyzes the teaching strategies for specific passage in the Xinqiang link care ratio and Xinqiang Haizhi. Fourth, a practical observation method was used. Through classroom observations and interviews with teachers and students were asked the following questions. First, what differences do you find in the learning process of two species? Second, what do you think are the key technicals for the two instruments? Third, what do you find most challenging about the learning process? My research focused on three questions. First, differences in adaptability of playing technicals to different musical genres. Are there significant differences in playing technicals between the erhu and the bach for the same music style? Second, teaching method. When teaching Xinqiang music, are there significant differences in the teaching logic of erhu and bach? Third, the mechanism of differentiating student feedback. Do learners' perceptions of the difficulty of two instruments show a polarized phenomenon? The erhu focus on emotional experience difficulty, while the bach focus on technical control errors. Next is research background and the origins. Erhu and Lianhu, representatives of Chinese folk string instruments, have forged unique artistic identities over a long history. The erhu's history can be traced back to the ceasing of the Tang and Song dynasties, evolving through the Hu-Qin of the Yuan dynasty before reaching its final form in the Ming and Qing dynasties. Since the 20th century, innovations by musicians such as Liu Tianhua and Hua Yanjun have refined its playing technicals and repertoire, making it one of the most expressive instruments in Chinese folk music. The bahu, a derivative of the Hu-Qin family, originated from the needs for accompaniment in northern bands opera during the Ming and Qing dynasties. Its resonant box, crafted from coconut shell or hollow wood and topped with veneer wood, creates a high bottom, making it a core accompaniment instrument for local opera such as Xinqiang and the Henan opera. Xinjiang, a cultural treasure of northwest China, is known for its passionate, dissolute, and tragic music style. It features a rich variety of tempo patterns such as low tempo, 2/6 tempo, and substitute tempo, and complex modal variations. The Biertang mode is particularly distinctive. Xinjiang's music scale is divided into pentatonic, hexatonic, and heptatonic modes, with the heptatonic scale being the most widely used. The pentatonic scale consists of do, re, mi, sol, and la The heptatonic scale has two, often not B and F, or B short and flat F to the pentatonic scale. Each scale places unique demands on instrumental performance. It requires both strong penetrating power to match the high pitch of the vocals and subtle variations in timbre to convey dramatic emotion. Although both arp and band are both string instruments, their differences in form, timbre, and range give them distinct role in Qingqiang. The arp excels at polishing, while the band focuses on leading. So in order to help you understanding Qingqiang more clearly, I will now show a few videos. The first one is distinguish the hep sound and steady sound in Qingqiang. It's the hep sound, sad sound. So it's happy sound or sad sound?
Happy.
Yes. That we've introduced Qingqiang, let me briefly introduce two instruments. You can see the picture. The first is erhu. Its body is often hexagonal or round, made from hardwood like mahogany and resort and covered in carbon skin. Its tone is rich, metal, and resonant. Its standard tuning is D1 to A1 with an effective range from G to D4. It excels at expression, lyrical content. The erhu primarily serves as a supporting instrument and embellishment. For example, in slow passage, the lobo complements the bamboo's main melody, enhancing the depth of music. In solo pieces, delicate vibrato and placebo mimic in Qingchang vocals, conveying the sorrowful tremp of bitter notes. And the second instrument is bamboo. Its sound box is round or oval, made of coconut shell or polymer wood, and its top is a thin polyvinyl board. Its tone is high, bright, and penetrating. In Qingchang, it's often turned to G1 to D2 with a range from D1 to G4, making it ideal for expressing a dramatic tension. The bamboo is the core and leading instrument, leading the performance and controlling the tempo and the rhythm of opera, supporting and maintaining the key, closely coordinating with the actor singing and creating atmosphere, intensifying dramatic conflict within intense plots. However, in practical teaching, the technical training approaches for two instruments often become confused. For example, some bamboo teachers directly apply string rubbing training methods, ignoring the dynamic requirements of bamboo string brushing and rubbing. Furthermore, when imitating Qingchang glissando, erhu teacher failed to adjust the fingering and force application based on the instrument's characteristics. Its phenomenon stems from the inadequate attention paid to the differentiated teaching methods for two instruments in existing research, resulting in a lack of systematic theoretical guidance for teachers. Therefore, clarifying the technical differences between erhu and bamboo in Qingchang style teaching has become a pressing need in the field of national instrumental music education. Next, I will introduce the core content of my research. Qingchang style is the core driver of differences. The technical and pedagogical difference between the two instruments are essentially due to the function demands placed on different instruments by Qingchang's multiple stylistic layers. These multiple stylistic layers encompass lyricism and drama, delicacy and ruggedness. The erhu is suited to Qingchang's lyrical passage, while the bamboo is suited to its dramatic ones. Teaching requires adjusting the emphasis of technical training accordingly to achieve process expression of style. Here are two examples. This is erhu. First, here's a First is it's a piece from the Erhu. When teaching this piece from Carrie Shaw on Qinchang, then the objectives must be clearly defined. First, master the Hu-yin mode such as the pressure and rubbing technique on the B sharp notes, achieving a photon amplitude of quarter second. Accurately execute the glissando on the F flat note. Lastly, the slow chord strokes should be even with a natural transition from P to MF without a noticeable abrupt change in timbre. So I will show you. Next is an example for the bamboo. The fourth bar of this score begins with a slow starting, gradually accelerating section. It draws inspiration from the 2/6-beat structure of Qinchang. 2/6-beat is a crucial form in Qinchang, possessing distinct rhythmic characteristics and stylistic attributes, and it's a core component of its musical structure. The regular rhythm of 2/6-beats is full of dynamism and tension, driving the plot forward and creating a lively atmosphere. During performance, or in techniques such as the staccato and legato are often employed with the initial staccato note being short and forceful to emphasize the rhythmic punctuation. During instruction, these characteristics of 2/6-beats are instituted to strengthen students' grasp of rhythmic framework and coordination of bowing and figuring. For example, students practice alternating staccato and legato with a metronome and imitate the explosive power of glissando in conjunction with Qinchang singing recording to ensure their performances adhere to the stylistic requirements of 2/6-beats. during my teaching that students didn't have a good grasp of the tempo of starting slow and gradually speeding up, which required a lot of practice. Furthermore, they neglected the intensity when adjusting the tempo, failing to combine reading speed and intensity well. Through the teaching analysis of the two cases, the differences between Erhu and Banhu in Qingshan style teaching are clearly presented. In terms of teachers' philosophy, Erhu teaching focused on imitation, seeing, and integrating styles, emphasizing that the timbre of instrument is closer to the singing. Banhu teaching focus on inheriting the original color and leading the rhythm, focus on the development of instruments' own style characteristics. In terms of technical emphasis, the Erhu emphasizes the charm of vibrato and glissando, conveying motion through subtle variations. Banhu emphasizes the power of glissando and for enhancing the dramatic effect through strong contrast. In terms of overcome difficulties, the Erhu focus on subtle variations in timbre and addressing the lack of timbre through practice and emotional association. The Banhu focus on precious bursts of technique, addressing issue of power and coordination through decomposition, practice, and rhythmic reinforcement. Based on the above research results, the comparative teaching method is adopted in the innovation of teaching method. The differences between two instruments playing the same Qingchao excerpt are compared in the classroom to strengthen student style cognition and enable students to understand the style expression logic of different instruments. Model technical is used to assist teaching, such as using spectrum analysis software to show the timbre differences between the two instruments to help students understanding the key points of timbre control and include the scientific nature of teaching. This study has certain limitations. The research scope is limited to the Qingshan style and doesn't involve other regional styles such as Henan Banzi and Hebei Banzi, and the universality of the conclusions needs to be expanded. In terms of research method, the case study selected a limited number of reporters. The number of student research subjects is small, and there is a lack of large-scale teaching experimental data. So the empirical support for the conclusions need to be further strengthened. Future research can be expanded in the following directions: expand the scope of research, extend comparative research to other over style, explore the teaching differences of Erhu and Banhu in music in different regions, and enrich the universality of the research. Given empirical research, conduct teaching in experience, compare the effects of different teaching methods such as the traditional oral transmission and modern systematic training, verify theoretical conclusions through quantitative data, and enhance the scientific nature of the research. Interdisciplinary research, combine acoustics, psychology, and other disciplines analyzing the physical characteristics of the timbre of the two instruments and the differences in students' perception, provide a scientific basis for teaching matter, and enhance the depth of research. Okay, this is the conclusion of my speech. Have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to ask, when teaching Qingqiang music, are there significant difference in the teaching logic of Erhu and Danhu?
Okay, it's very good. Certainly, Xinjiang style is the core driver of differences. The technical and the pedagogical difference between the two instruments are essentially due to the function demands placed on different instruments by Xinjiang's multiple stylistic lawyers. These multiple stylistic lawyers encompass lyrics and German delicacy and ruggedness. The article is due to Xinjiang's lyrical passage, while the Danhu is due to its dramatic ones. Teaching requires adjusting the emphasis of technical training partly to achieve process expression of styles. Anything else?
Brilliant, you appreciate for sharing. Say, how do you is perception of technical difficulties between the two tools?
In terms of student feedback and learning cognition, the survey results show that learners do have different feelings. Article learners often encounter obstacles due to insufficient depth of emotional experience. While Danhu learners often have problems with high intensity technical control. This polarization phenomenon further illustrates that to have different impasses in learning, psychological and teaching difficulties. Okay. Okay, thank you.